Welcome to the Full Nielsen. Today I'm going to be reviewing this set of gear wrenches. These do not have ratcheting box ends. This set of wrenches on Amazon I picked up a while back. I was going to get a wrench, a set of metric and SAE wrenches from Tekton just as a beat up set to throw in my pickup or something like that, or have a set that I could hit with a hammer or something if something was being really stubborn and not damage my more expensive ratcheting wrenches. And Tekton had upped their price quite a substantial amount. I think they went from about $100 to $140 for their two sets. And these gear wrenches at the time I purchased them, I think were like $90 or $110 or something. They were pretty reasonably priced, maybe $120, I don't remember. So I thought I'd go ahead and give them a try instead. And so I'm gonna give you guys a review of these today. Now, I'll start off with the things that I don't like with these. The holder for these wrenches is an abomination in my opinion. Maybe if you were gonna hang them up on a wall in a position like this holder might be good for you. It's even got little holes right here so that you could put screws in it to mount it to the wall. In that situation, you might like this. For putting it in the drawer of a tool car or a toolbox, it's really obnoxious because when you go to pull the wrenches out, you've got to do this silly twist thing, and some of them are really stubborn to get them out and to put them back in instead of just setting them in place. Now, this could be modified if I wanted to spend the time and effort and energy doing so, and I could just cut this little tab off straight so that they would just lie in there. And maybe I will take the time to do that at some point, but I haven't yet. So I don't care for the holder that these things come with. I'm very unimpressed with that. The other thing is the fit and finish of these wrenches. I don't know if you can see this, but the engraving on these looks like it was done with a bit that was incredibly dull or something. It's just very poor engraving. It's just sloppy. It doesn't look clean. And maybe it's because of the chrome job that they've got on them or something, I don't know, but the engraving, in my opinion, is pretty poor on them. The chrome itself is decent on the beam portion of the wrench, but in the jaws of the wrench, you'll see a little bit of flaking and stuff in some places, and in the box end, you'll see some imperfections. I don't know if you're going to be able to see any of that very well in this video, but I did a review on the Milwaukee fixed wrenches, which are a fair amount more expensive than this. But the chrome, the quality of the chrome on those is far superior to what Gearwrench has on these, and that's probably, because of the price difference. But anyway, so I don't care for the fit and finish of these. I don't think they're that great from what I've seen. In fact, most of Tekton's wrenches I've seen, I think, have better fit and finish than what Gearwrench has on these. Now, with that being said, there are some things I like about them and certain areas where I would recommend them to people. I did not buy these sets of wrenches to be my primary set of wrenches. I bought these to be sets that maybe I could throw on my pickup in a toolbox, a set that I wouldn't feel bad about putting the box end on something and thumping this end with a hammer to break a fastener loose that was being stubborn. A set that I wouldn't worry so much about damaging or losing or something like that. I shouldn't say losing because I hate losing tools, but damaging them in some way. I wouldn't be as worried about these as I would be some of my other wrenches that were 2 or 3 times the price. So the pros are how much they cost. Another pro to me is the length of them. They are extra long. I showed this in a previous Milwaukee video, but I'll grab one of these here so that you can see that compared to many other offerings on the market, and I believe Tekton and the Milwaukees would fall into this category, but we have two 17mm wrenches here, and you can see that this gear wrench is quite a lot longer than what the Milwaukee is. And so I like that extra length. I like long pattern wrenches. Given an option, assuming that space is not so tight that I can't run a long pattern wrench, I would much rather use a long pattern wrench than a shorter wrench. That's kind of a big deal to me. So I like the length of them, I like the cost of them, and then they also have this Surface Drive Plus, Surface Drive, I think is what they call it. So they have, let me grab a bigger wrench so that maybe I can actually show you this. In the jaws of my 120 XP gear wrenches, they have what's called like Surface Drive Plus. It's kind of like a mimic of Snap-on's Flank Drive. Probably not as good from what I've seen, but that's what it's supposed to mimic. That helps give you an extra purchase on the fastener without rounding it off. And they have an interesting cut in the jaw on top and bottom of my Gearwrench 120 XPs. These don't. They only have it in the bottom. Let me see if I can get this in a position so you can see it, but you can kind of see that little crook in the jaw and the bottom there where my thumb was just pointing. And that is, like my understanding, what's called standard Surface Drive instead of Surface Drive Plus. I like that they have that feature in actual use. It seems to work pretty well. It doesn't give me the traction that like a Max Bite jog gives me with Milwaukee, but I wouldn't expect it to. Now, the trade-off of it not giving me quite the same purchase is that these are a lot easier to get on and off the fastener, and they're a lot quicker to use if you're using the open end than what the Max Bite's going to be, so there's a trade-off there. Anyway, so that I think pretty much summarizes, kind of what you're getting. I do like that they don't skip sizes in any of these sets. For any of you that are first buying your first sets of wrenches, and maybe this is a stretch for you financially, and you're not going to buy, Max Bites, or you're not going to buy something more expensive or higher end, I will say that these are a much better option than some of the really cheap sets that are like $50 or $60, because oftentimes you'll find in those sets they'll skip sizes and stuff like that, and that will become a huge nuisance to you as you start doing more and bigger jobs throughout your life. So these would be a great beater set, a great starter set that actually covers all the sizes you need. If you're going to be using something professionally long term, you might want to invest in something that is just a little bit higher quality than these, but that's up to you. It really just depends on how you're going to use them or how abusive you're going to be towards them. I think they're great for the money that they're asking. Like I said, these compared to the Tectons, the reason I went with these is while the fit and finish is not quite as good, the long pattern aspect of these wrenches, the lower price, all of that more than made up for the difference in my mind, and so that's why I went ahead and went with these. If you guys have any questions or comments about these wrenches or any other wrenches that you have experience with, feel free to leave that in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.